Again, these applications or these elements are about amending the general plan and do not connotate annexation or rezoning. Should the property owner decide to pursue annexation in the future, there will be a separate public participation process as part of that process. The property and its location as a gateway on the western side of town along the Tangerine corridor will be developed at some point in the future, as Mr. Vella indicated. These two elements proposed tonight really give the town a seat at the table to be part of that future discussion regarding development of the site. So to orient folks a little bit better, here's the subject property again shown in yellow. As Mr. Standish said, it's located north of Tangerine Road, on the east Coyote Crossing Trail, on the north Moore Road, and then on the west Thornydale Road. As you can see here, for a little bit added context, I did include the Tangerine Crossing residential subdivision for context. To continue providing context here, we do have the existing Town of Oro Valley town boundary shown in blue and the existing Town of Marana town boundary shown in purple. So everything on this screen that's not either in purple or in blue is in unincorporated Pima County. So quickly to address the actual amendment request, again, the first element is the extension of that planning boundary that was referenced earlier. For folks in the audience, I do want to just kind of quickly go over what the planning boundary entails. It identifies areas both inside the town and outside of the town that can and do have an impact on development within our jurisdiction. Again, a reason the town wants to have a seat at the table and has a vested interest in how this property is developed. So the first element, again, is revising the current planning area boundary shown here as this black line to include the subject property. The second element, as I stated before, again, is applying a master plan community designation to the property, which, as Mr. Vella indicated, is essentially a holding designation, if you will, which accommodates a range of uses. Once the necessary analysis is done, it allows us to have more detailed conversations regarding specific zoning for this site. Neither of these two proposed changes will result in a change in ownership. The state of Arizona is the current property owner, and regardless of the decision tonight, they will continue to be the property owner. So just as a quick background on the property, the site does currently have existing development rights. As I said earlier, it is in unincorporated Pima County, and as such has a general or a comprehensive land use designation of low intensity urban, which would permit up to 91 homes. It is important to note that Pima County has mapped the environmental resources on the property, and that mapping effort will serve as a driver to shape future development. The town of Marana has also included the property in their planning area, and they have designated that on their general plan as low density residential. That could permit a range of anywhere from 151 to 604 homes. It could also include potential neighborhoods serving commercial, so that's an interesting note to keep in mind. Ultimately, in the end, the state land department, the property owner, will choose which jurisdiction to develop with. A little bit of background regarding the property owner, the state land department. They do have as their mission ensuring the highest and best use of the state trust land. State trust land is sold at auction to primarily help fund the State Department of Education, which again means that the property will be sold and developed at some point in the future. The property was part of a larger 640-acre section shown in yellow here on the northeast corner of Thornydale and Tangerine Road. Previously, approximately 316 acres of that was annexed by the town of Marana, later developed, as we know, as the Fry Shopping Center and the Tangerine Crossing subdivision. For added context, the Tangerine Crossing subdivision, for those who don't know, has about 347 lots with minimum lot sizes of around 6,000 square feet. So just to provide a little bit of context. So the subject property, of course, then is the remainder of that original 640 acres, that originally existed. In summary, again, the two elements include extending the planning area boundary and applying a master plan community land use designation to the property. I would like to point out that throughout the process, as was indicated by the mayor earlier, we have again heard discussion regarding annexation and zoning. As it relates to these applications, again, the focus is simply on amending the general plan Should the property owner choose to pursue annexation in the future, there will be a separate public participation process required at that time.